All right, we're going to pick up where we left off yesterday, finishing chapter 6. So they're waiting outside the library, trying to figure out when to infiltrate. And Alcatraz was just like, okay, so wait, what did he say? Let me get the words right. Let me get this straight. Our strike team consists of a loony old man, an anthropologist, a grad student, and 2 kids. That's what they have. Oops, let me see. And then Bastille said, "You see what I have to work with?" I nodded, beginning to understand where she might have gotten such a grumpy attitude. "Oh, don't be like that," Grandpa Smedry said. He walked over, putting his arm around my shoulders and pulling me aside. "Here, lad, I've got some things I want to give you." Grandpa Smedry pulled open his tuxedo jacket and removed 2 pairs of spectacles. "You'll recognize these," he said, holding up a yellow-tinted pair. "I used them back when I first picked you up from the house. They're fairly easy lenses to wield, but if you can already do readings like you did on the library building, you should be able to use these." I accepted the glasses, then tried them on. At first nothing changed, but then I thought I saw something. Footsteps in various colors fading slowly on the ground around me. "Tracks," I said with surprise, watching as Singh wandered over to another gutter, leaving a trail of blue footprints on the asphalt behind him. "Indeed, lad," Grandpa Smedry said. "The better you know a person, the longer the footprints will remain visible. Once we get inside, we'll split up. You and I are the only oculators in the group, and so we're the only ones who will be able to sense where the sands are. But the inside of a library can be deceptively large. Sometimes the stacks form mazes, and it's easy to get lost. If you lose your way, you can use these tracker's lenses to retrace your footsteps. Also, you can probably track me down if necessary." So here's the picture. You can see Grandpa Smedry and all the footsteps, different shades and colors. There's not colors here, but you can tell that they are different in size and shape and gray scale. And then Alcatraz trying them on. I glanced down. Grandpa Smedry's footprints glowed a blazing white, like little bursts of flame on the ground. I could easily see the trail of white back to Grandpa Smedry's black car still parked across the street. "Thanks," I said, still feeling a little apprehensive as I removed and pocketed the tracker's lenses. "You'll do fine, lad," Grandpa Smedry said, picking up a second pair of glasses. "Remember, this is your inheritance we're searching for. You lost it, and you'll have to get it back. I can't hold your hand forever." I felt like noting that I had seen very little hand-holding in this adventure so far. I didn't really know what was going on, didn't quite trust my sanity anymore, and wasn't even convinced that I wanted my inheritance back. Grandpa Smedry, however, did give me an opportunity to complain. He held up the second pair of glasses. They had mostly clear lenses with a little dot of red at the center of each one. "These," he said, handing the lenses to me, "are one of the most powerful pairs of oculatory lenses I possess. However, they're also one of the easiest to use, which is why I'm lending them to you." I eyed the glasses. "What do they do?" "You can use them for many purposes," Grandpa Smedry said. "Once you switch them on, you just have to concentrate a bit to do that. They'll begin gathering the light around you, then direct it out in concentrated beams." "You mean like a laser?" I asked. "Yes," Grandpa Smedry said. "These are very dangerous, Alcatraz. I don't carry many offensive lenses, but I found these too useful to leave behind. However, let me warn you, if there really is a dark oculator in there, he'll be able to sense when you activate these. Only use the Firebringer's lenses in an emergency." Don't get too worried. This isn't the sort of story in which emergencies occur. Yes, it is highly unlikely that you will ever get to see those Firebringer's lenses activated, so don't get your hopes up. I accepted the Firebringer's lenses from my grandfather, and they immediately started glowing. "Cavorting cards!" Grandpa Smedry yelped, dodging to the side as the lenses blasted a pair of intensely hot beams into the ground right in front of my feet. Let's see, what was that one? Cavorting cards. Looks like there's at least one per chapter. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So at least one, if not multiple. I hopped backward in shock, nearly dropping the lenses in surprise. Grandpa Smedry grabbed the lenses from behind, deactivating them. The scent of melted tar rose in the air, and I blinked, my vision marked by 2 bright after images of light. Well, well, Grandpa Smedry said. I told you they were easy to use. He glanced up at the building. We should be too far away for that to have been sensed. Great, I thought. As my vision cleared, I could see Bastille rolling her eyes. Singh waddled over, raising his sunglasses and inspecting a 3-foot-wide disc of blackened, half-melted asphalt. Nice shot, he noted. I think it's dead now. I blushed, but Grandpa Smedry just laughed. Here, he said, slipping a small velvet bag around the firebringer's lenses. He pulled the drawstring tight at the top. This should keep them safe. Now, with these lenses and your talent, you should be able to handle pretty much anything the librarians throw at you. I accepted the glasses back, and fortunately they didn't go off. Now, as I was telling you previously, these lenses will probably never get used in the story. You'll be lucky if you ever get to see them fired. Again. Grandfather, I said quietly, eyeing Bastille, then stepping aside again with Grandpa Smedry. I'm not sure that I can do this. Nonsense, lad. You're a Smedry. But I didn't even know I was until earlier today, I said. Well, I didn't know what being a Smedry meant. I don't think, I'm just not ready. What makes you say that? Grandpa Smedry asked. I tried to use my talent earlier, I said, to stop Bastille from smacking me with a purse. It didn't work. And that wasn't the first time. Sometimes I just can't make things break. And when I don't want them to break, they usually do anyway. Your talent is still wild, Grandpa Smedry said. You haven't practiced it enough. Being a Smedry isn't only about having a talent. It's about finding out how to use that talent. A clever person can make anything turn to his advantage, no matter how much disadvantage it may seem at first. No Smedry talent is completely controllable. However, if you practice enough, you'll begin to get a grasp on it. Eventually, you'll be able to make things break, not merely when and where you want, but also how you want. I said, still uncertain. This doesn't sound like you, Alcatraz, Grandpa Smedry said. Where's that spark of spirit, that stubbornness that you're always tossing about? I frowned. How do you know what I'm like? You only just met me. Oh, you think I've left you in librarian hands all this time, never checking in on you? Of course he checked on me, I thought. Bastille mentioned something about that. But you don't know me, I said. I mean, you didn't even know what my talent was. I suspected, lad, Grandpa Smedry said. But I'll admit, I usually got to your foster homes after you'd moved somewhere else. Still, I've been watching over you in my own way. If that's the case, I said, then why did I leave you to your foster homes? Grandpa Smedry asked. I'm not that great a parent. A boy needs somebody who can arrive on time to his birthdays and ball games. Besides, there were reasons for letting you grow up in this world. That didn't seem like much of an explanation to me, but Grandpa didn't look like he'd say any more, so I just sighed. I keep feeling like I won't be much help in this fight. I don't know how to use my talent or these lenses. Maybe I should get a gun or a sword or something. Grandpa Smedry smiled. Ah, lad, this war we're fighting, it isn't about guns or even about swords. What is it about then? Sand? Information, Grandpa Smedry said. That's the real power in this world. The man who held a gun on us earlier, he had power over you. Why? Because he was going to shoot me, I said. Because you thought he could shoot you, Grandpa Smedry said, raising a finger. But he had no power over me because I knew that he couldn't hurt me. And when he realized that, he ran away, I said slowly. Information. The librarians control the information in this city, in this whole country. They control what gets read, what gets seen, and what gets learned. Because of that, they have power. Well, we're going to break that power, you and I. But first, we need those sands. Grandpa, I said, you have to have some kind of idea what the sands do. You came to get them from me after all. Didn't you have a plan to use them? Pestering Pullmans, of course I did. There's another one. I'm losing space on this thing here. Pestering Pullmans. I don't know what a Pullman is, but apparently it is pestering. Let's see. I was going to smelt them into lenses, just like the librarians are probably doing now. Your father, lad, he was a sand hunter. He spent all his time searching out new and powerful types of sand, gathering the grains together, crafting lenses like nobody had seen before. The sands of Rashid were his crowning achievement, his greatest discovery. Grandpa Smedry's voice grew even quieter. He was convinced they had something to do with where the Smedry family gained its talents in the first place. The sands of Rashid are a key somehow to understanding the power and origin of our entire family. Can you understand perhaps why the librarians might want them? I nodded slowly. The talents. Indeed, lad, the talents. If they could find a way to arm their agents with talents like ours, then the free kingdoms could be very well doomed. Smedry powers are a large part of what has kept the librarians at bay for so long, but we're losing. The land you call Australia was lost to us only a few decades back, absorbed and added to the Hushlands. Now Sing's homeland has almost fallen. They've already taken some of the outlying Mokayan Islands, the places you call Hawaii, Tonga, Samoa, and added them to the Hushlands. I fear it will only be a few years before Mokaya itself falls. He paused, then shook his head, looking a bit distant as he continued. Either the free kingdoms are going to fall and everything will become Hushlands, or we're going to find a way to break the librarians' power. The Smedry talents and the secrets these sands will reveal are key to the next stage of the war. Things are changing. Things have to change. We can't just keep fighting and losing ground. That's why your father spent so much of his life gathering these sands. He felt it was time to go on the offensive. I felt a stab of anxiety, a question surfacing that I wasn't certain I wanted to know the answer to. Finally, I couldn't keep it down. Is he still alive, Grandpa? I don't know, he said, looking back at me. I honestly don't know. The comment hung in the air. Grandpa Smedry placed a hand on my shoulder. Alive or not, Attica Smedry was a great man, Alcatraz, an amazing man, and he, like you, was no warrior. We are oculators. Our weapon is information. Keep your eyes and your mind open. You'll do just fine. I nodded slowly. Good lad, good lad. Ah, here's Quentin. The short tuxedo-wearing man slipped quickly out of the library's front doors. 5 librarians in the main lobby, he said quietly. 3 behind the checkout desk, 2 in the stacks. Their patterns are right on schedule with what we've seen from them before. The entrance to the employee corridor is in the far south side. It isn't guarded right now, though a librarian passes to check on it every few minutes or so. All right then, Grandpa Smedry said. In we go. All right, that was chapter 6. They're finally going in. So it's interesting. Do you think that Alcatraz's father could be alive? What about his mother? We haven't heard anything. Could be alive, could be dead. We don't know. Do you think we're going to meet them? Do you think we're going to find out what befell them? What was their fate if they did die? Who knows? Here is the next set of glasses. It almost looks to me kind of like the laser. They look like lasers, but it also could be like maybe map reading glasses. I don't know. What do you think they could be? The last ones were the footprints. All right. Until next week. We are about a third of the way through. Have a good day.